You're listening to From Stillness, an audiobook for a mind in need of quiet. When you were a child, a single summer felt like forever. Every day was an adventure, every moment etched deeply into your memory. But then you grew up. The years began to blur, months slipped by in what felt like minutes, and suddenly another year was gone. It's not just because you got busy, it's because your brain stopped recording. Routine kills time perception. Same commute, same conversations, same evening routines. Your brain sees no need to take notes. It files those days away as more of the same. That's why time feels like it's accelerating, but you can reclaim it. Take a new route home. Learn something you've never tried before. Speak to someone outside your usual circle. These aren't just pleasant activities, they create memory anchors, forcing your mind to slow down and pay attention. New experiences stretch your sense of time, making each day feel fuller. Here's the other mistake most people make. We overestimate what we can do in a day, but massively underestimate what we can do in a year. That's why we give up too soon. But small, steady actions, done daily, add up. If you plant one small seed every day, in a year's time you'll look back and realize you've grown a garden. So stop chasing more hours. Focus on making the ones you already have truly count. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They race through their days, ticking off tasks, replying to messages, juggling appointments, yet end up wondering why nothing truly important gets done. The problem isn't time, it's clarity. Without knowing what actually matters to you, your life gets filled with low-value noise disguised as urgency. Here's a simple but powerful test. Imagine yourself at 90, looking back. Will you be proud of all those late-night emails and extra hours at the office? Or will you remember the conversations, the quiet evenings, the people who mattered? That's the deathbed test, and it instantly reshapes your priorities. To cut through the noise, try this. Write down everything you think you need to do. Then circle the 3 most important items. Everything else? That's your avoid list. It's not that the other things aren't useful, it's that they steal time and energy from what really matters. The key to a meaningful life isn't doing more. It's doing less, but better. Think of each action as a daily investment, small moments that compound, just like interest. A meaningful conversation, a walk with a loved one, half an hour learning something new. These aren't distractions. They're your legacy in progress. Time is limited. Prioritizing isn't selfish. It's how you make your short life truly count. Relationships don't thrive on grand gestures. They grow through the quiet, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. A thoughtful message, showing up when it matters, remembering a small detail, these are deposits in your emotional bank account. And like any account, you can't make constant withdrawals if you've never invested. Too many people wait until something breaks to suddenly start caring, forgetting that connection is built gradually, not in emergencies. Think of every interaction as a micro-investment. A kind word, a shared laugh. Being fully present, they all add up. Ironically, it's not pleasure but shared struggle that forms the deepest bonds. The people you've endured hard things with, loss, change, conflict, often become the ones you trust most. Don't fear discomfort in relationships. Sometimes it's the gateway to something stronger. And don't overlook your weak ties, the casual acquaintances, old colleagues, distant friends. They're often bridges to new perspectives, unexpected opportunities, or just refreshing conversations. While your close circle brings you comfort, your broader network sparks growth. Here's the paradox. When you give your time to others, you don't lose it, you gain meaning. The simplest way to feel richer in time isn't to hoard it, but to share it wisely. So check in. Reach out. Be present. Because the quality of your life is largely shaped by the quality of your connections. And like anything valuable, they require care. When it comes to building a meaningful career, most people make the same mistake. They chase money before growth. But the truth is, your 20s and early 30s aren't just for earning, they're for learning. The skills you develop now are like lottery tickets for future opportunities. The more diverse and layered your experience, the more irreplaceable you become. Don't fall into the comfort trap. That job you're good at but no longer growing in. Comfort feels safe, but it quietly dulls your potential. Careers aren't ladders anymore. They're jungle gyms. You climb sideways, diagonally, even backwards sometimes, and each move adds a new tool to your belt. Sticking to one narrow lane might feel secure, but it limits your vision and your value. Explore the adjacent possible, the space just beyond your current skill set. That's where real progress happens. Sometimes even procrastination points the way. Notice what you do when you're avoiding other tasks, the hobbies, the articles, the side projects. They might just be clues to your true calling. Remember, the goal isn't to find a job and stay in it forever. The goal is to keep evolving, to build a working life that reflects who you are becoming. Growth might not always pay the most in the short term, but in the long run, it's the only thing that compounds. Choose curiosity over certainty, and you'll never truly be stuck. Health isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, with energy that amplifies everything you do. A strong body sharpens your mind, improves your mood, and gives you the stamina to show up fully in work, relationships, and life. Yet too many of us trade it away for temporary gains, thinking we can sleep less, move less, and still perform at our best. But energy, not time, is your true currency. What good are 16 waking hours if you're exhausted for most of them? Prioritizing sleep isn't weakness, it's strategy. Sleep repairs your brain, strengthens your memory, and resets your emotional balance. Skimp on it, and your decisions suffer, your patience wears thin, and your productivity crumbles. And you don't need intense routines to stay vital. Micro workouts, a brisk walk, 10 push-ups, light stretching, scattered throughout your day, are enough to keep your body engaged and your mind alert. Movement doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you think. Stuck on a problem? Move. The solution often follows. Also, be mindful of the split between morning you and evening you. It's easy to make grand health plans in the morning, but follow-through requires designing habits that actually fit your real energy levels. In the end, your health is the foundation everything else rests on. Treat it as such, and life begins to feel more alive, not just longer, but fuller. Learning isn't something you finish at school, it's the quiet engine behind a rich, evolving life. But the fastest way to learn isn't just to read or watch, it's to teach. Explaining something to others forces clarity, reveals gaps in your understanding, and locks in the knowledge far deeper than passive study ever could. You don't need to be an expert. In fact, your confusion is an advantage. It helps you relate, simplify, and connect with others in ways experts often can't. Another overlooked shortcut? Read biographies. Each one condenses a lifetime of experience into a few hours, showing you not just what to do, but what to avoid. They're the closest thing we have to time travel. Don't aim to be good at everything. Strategic weakness is a strength. Staying deliberately bad at things that don't matter frees up energy and humility, both vital for creativity and growth. In fact, limitations are powerful. Constraints fuel ingenuity. Time, money, and even skill gaps push you to be resourceful in ways abundance never can. And remember, quitting isn't always failure. It's making space. Smart learners know when to walk away from something that no longer serves them. Stubbornness keeps you stuck. Strategic quitting frees you to explore something better. Growth isn't a straight line, it's loops, restarts, and reframes. Embrace the mess. That's where learning lives. Emotions often feel like storms we can't control, but the truth is, they're far more manageable than we think. Biochemically, most emotions only last around 90 seconds. After that, it's no longer the emotion that's holding on to us, it's us holding on to the emotion. Learning to pause, breathe, and respond rather than react is the difference between being driven by feelings and mastering them. Emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about creating space between the trigger and your response. That space is where maturity lives, and influence too. People trust those who can remain steady in the midst of chaos, not because they're emotionless, but because they're grounded. Vulnerability is another tool, not a weakness. Used wisely, it builds trust faster than perfection ever could. Being open about your struggles when appropriate makes you relatable, not weak. Avoiding difficult conversations might keep things peaceful on the surface, but underneath, resentment builds like compound interest. One honest conversation today could save years of silent frustration. Likewise, don't underestimate the power of gratitude, but speak it. Unexpressed appreciation is like a gift never unwrapped. Your emotions don't have to run the show. With practice, you can learn to feel deeply without being ruled by your feelings, and in doing so, become someone others look to for calm, clarity, and connection. Money isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much freedom you actually have. Most people chase higher income, only to find their lifestyle grows even faster. Bigger houses, fancier cars, more responsibilities. But more money with less time isn't wealth, it's a golden cage. Real wealth is measured in time, flexibility, and peace of mind. Think about your true hourly rate. It's not just your salary divided by hours worked, it includes your commute, stress, unpaid overtime, and what you give up to earn it. Sometimes, earning less but living more is the real win. Here's a smart shift. Rent objects, buy experiences. A shiny new phone will age quickly, but a weekend away, a meaningful conversation, or a shared laugh, those gain value over time. They shape how you remember your life. The secret isn't restriction, it's margin. Living below your means creates breathing room. It's not about denial, it's about creating space for unexpected opportunities, creativity, and rest. That financial margin becomes your freedom buffer. It lets you say no when it matters, take risks when it counts, and live life on your terms. In a world obsessed with more, the wisest move is often enough. Enough money to live, enough time to enjoy it, and enough clarity to know the difference. Creativity isn't a spark of inspiration that strikes out of nowhere. It's a habit, a system, a willingness to show up even when the ideas feel flat. Think of it like turning on a tap. The first water out is rusty, but you need that to clear the way for something clean. Waiting for the perfect idea is like refusing to turn the tap on until clean water appears. You'll wait forever. Constraints aren't a block to creativity, they're fuel for it. Too many options lead to paralysis, but clear boundaries sharpen focus. That's why Shakespeare thrived within the rigid form of sonnets. When you limit your tools, your imagination works harder. Many people make the mistake of creating and judging at the same time, but these are two different modes. Create first, freely, messily, without filtering. Judge later, when there's actually something to refine. This is how progress is made. Keep a record of your creative attempts, even the rough ones. They're proof of growth and vital for building momentum. You don't have to be a genius, you just need to keep turning up. And here's your edge. Combine skills no one else thinks to pair. Maybe it's design and philosophy, or coding and storytelling. At the intersection of unrelated strengths lies originality. That's your creative superpower, not brilliance, but brave experimentation. Your energy, not your time, is your most limited resource. You can block time on a calendar all day long, but if you're drained, nothing meaningful gets done. That's why smart people focus less on time management and more on energy management. Begin with an energy audit. Notice what activities leave you feeling energized and which ones leave you feeling depleted. That morning walk might lift you up, while a single conversation with a toxic person might drain you for hours. Protect your energy like you'd protect your finances, with intention and boundaries. Willpower isn't infinite. It gets weaker with every decision, which is why successful people often simplify the basics. Same breakfast, same outfit, fewer decisions. It's not laziness, it's strategy. They save their energy for what matters. A clever trick? Strategic incompetence. Be deliberately bad at tasks that aren't yours to carry. If you're always the one picking up extra responsibilities, people will keep piling them on. Learn to say no, not out of rebellion, but out of self-respect. And don't forget, recovery isn't wasted time, it's performance fuel. Rest doesn't cost you progress, it makes progress possible. Whether it's a walk, a stretch, or an early night, these small recharges are how you multiply your impact. Protect your energy and everything else, focus, relationships, creativity, will rise with it. Social capital isn't built through business cards or networking events. It grows in quiet moments, real conversations, and small acts of presence. The strongest relationships aren't forged in grand gestures, but in consistent, genuine connection over time. A quick check-in message, remembering a detail someone once shared, showing up when it counts, these are the deposits that build relational wealth. True networking isn't about collecting people, it's about connecting people. The most valuable person in the room is rarely the most charismatic. It's the one who listens deeply and introduces two others who needed to meet. These quiet connectors shape communities. Friendships, like gardens, need regular tending. If you only reach out during milestones, you're not nurturing, you're reacting. Make time for low-pressure catch-ups. A short call, a shared walk, a spontaneous coffee, that's where real bonds are built. And don't underestimate weak ties, the acquaintances, former colleagues, or friends of friends. Research shows they often open the most unexpected doors. They offer fresh perspectives, new ideas, and surprising opportunities. If you wait until you need a support network to build one, you've waited too long. Start before you're ready, connect before you're certain, and offer value without keeping score. Because in the end, it's not just what you know or even who you know, it's who trusts you enough to call when it matters. Mental models are the invisible frameworks that shape how we interpret the world. They're not reality, they're just maps. And while maps are useful, they're never the full territory. That's where the danger lies. When we confuse our mental model with truth itself, we miss critical information, perspectives, and possibilities. Most people navigate life using outdated or incomplete models. They see only the immediate consequence, not the ripple effect that follows. But second-order thinking, asking what happens after what happens next, separates the reactive from the strategic. It's what allows some to play chess while others are still moving checkers. The key isn't to collect more facts, it's to recognize patterns. To step back and ask, how am I contributing to the very problem I want to solve? That's inverse thinking. Sometimes progress isn't about finding a better answer, it's about asking a better question, and be willing to challenge your assumptions. Most mental traps persist because we never think to doubt them. When you seek perspectives that contradict your own, you expand the edges of your map. Mental models won't give you perfect clarity, but refining them gives you better tools for navigating complexity. And in a world overflowing with information, understanding is the real advantage. Not knowing everything, just knowing what actually matters. The message is simple but urgent. Life is short, painfully short, and yet we live as though we have all the time in the world. We wait for the right moment to start that project, fix that relationship, pursue that dream. But as the days slip by, most people aren't lacking time. They're lacking clarity. The truth is, how we use our time is how we build our life. This isn't about cramming more into your calendar. It's about asking better questions. What truly matters to you? What relationships, habits, or routines are either draining or fueling your life? The small, often invisible, choices you make each day are compounding into the story you'll look back on. The real shift happens when you stop managing time like a resource and start treating it like a reflection of your values. What you give your attention to becomes your life. And the good news? You don't need a massive overhaul. Start with one thing, one habit, one decision. Reclaim a corner of your day for meaning, whether it's reconnecting with someone, creating something, or simply slowing down enough to notice where you are. Because in the end, the goal isn't to find extra hours, it's to make your existing hours matter. The best time to begin isn't someday, it's now.